Сегодня гостем арт-ревью является хореограф из Торонто, педагог и художественный руководитель проекта «Лязги. Трансформация» Сашар Зариф. Вот уже более 25 лет он занимается национальными танцами в Центральной Азии, на Ближнем Востоке, Кавказе, Северной Америке. И в 2012 году за вклад в развитие искусства он был награжден юбилейной медалью королевы Елизаветы II. Сашар, скажите, откуда у вас такая тяга к национальным традиционным танцам?
I am very much affiliated with this part of the world through my ancestry, and my grandmother was born in Baku, and I have also ancestry from all over Central Asia. And I have been always very connected to the world that my grandmother has made me imagine where she was from and how life was, how dance was, how music was. And I felt very connected to this culture through not only through the stories, but through the music and also the dances of these areas. I guess she introduced that to me, and that's how I feel connected.
Расскажите о проекте «Лязги. Трансформация». Как вы отбирали участников?
Well, we worked very intuitively. I do work very intuitively, and we welcomed whoever was interested in the project, and we chose from the people that participated in our casting. And I guess the idea of choosing the right person for this project is not an issue. We would like to have everybody involved. I believe every human being has a talent to move and dance and sing. But because of the limitations we have in this project, we had to go with the people who could offer us some generous participation in our experimentation.
А с какими трудностями чаще всего сталкиваетесь в подобных проектах?
I think I would like to look at them as challenges, and like anything in life, there are challenges in this project as well. I believe time, and I would like to think of these as challenges rather than difficulties. It's part of life, having challenges, and that's why we're doing this project. I believe everybody has a busy life here. Everybody's trying to make the ends meet, and to have the commitment of people for this length of time that we wanted to do this project is a challenge for them, but we've been very lucky that the participants have been very committed. Our participants are, more than half of our participants are from Khorasan, which makes sense because the project is about that region, or it's not about that region, but inspired by that region. And most of our participants, except two, are from the regions, are not from Tashkent, which also it's quite refreshing for me, because then I will have an opportunity to know more about Uzbekistan. But challenges are I believe, is based on the idea of short-term project versus the long-term project. I believe that to create an impact on a grassroots, the projects need to be longer, so that the participants can actually process it and also own the project, rather than having a short masterclass and introduce something to them and just leave. The challenges that we have for this project is also not something that only exists here, but generally nowadays in the world, everything is more product oriented and everybody wants a product. And we are trying to offer a process oriented project that will give the participants something that they can build on. We don't want to introduce them a product, but we want to introduce to them a process in which they can explore a different way of working with dance and building their future. So that is one of the challenges to do. But what is good and positive on our side is that the team, including myself, coming into to Uzbekistan, I do have enough information and affiliation with the culture, so that when I am introducing new material to the participants, I have more understanding of where they come from. And I think it's more challenging when somebody who does not have the understanding of the traditional culture comes and introduces an alternative, a contemporary way of working, and that makes things difficult to be received by each other.
В Кыргызстане вы делали проект «Амур». Расскажите о нем тоже.
Yes. Well, in Kyrgyzstan, I first went to Kyrgyzstan in 2011, and I went there for my ethnographic research. I met with a master kumus player, Nurak Abdulrahmanov, and he's a legendary kumus player, very well known internationally. And I was going to work with him on exploring the possible movements that can accompany the kumus, the instrument. And it was quite successful. But in 2013, when I went back to Kyrgyzstan to complete this project, Nurak Abdulrahmanov passed away a week before I arrived. And anyways, I was on my way and I went to Kyrgyzstan regardless. And as an alternative, I was introduced to an organization called Ustad Shagird in Bishkek. And Ustad Shagird had an ensemble, the traditional music ensemble. And so I started working with them. We did an experimentation and it was successful. We put it on stage and we showed it to the public. And this encouraged a next more in-depth project that I did with them called Umur. And Umur was a project that was very much concentrating on the idea of how you negotiate your identity in order to use your traditional values in a contemporary way. And when I say that, I should explain that when I talk about contemporary dance, I don't refer to what is known as contemporary dance in most of the part of the world, but really contemporary. That means with time. And in Canada, because of its unique diversity of the cultures, people have come to realize that the contemporary art is the art that connects the past to the present. And so it can go towards something in the future. So this was our inspiration with Omer. We did a lot of work with the musicians. We had a field trip to all these sacred places called mazars that people will visit, and they will do their most sincere connection to nature in this mazar. And with this, we started also meeting some elders, and we used some pure music from lullabies that they had, and we also included a manasci. And in this process, we composed how to say an alternative composition with the Kyrgyz national instruments, and also stemming from this Kyrgyz traditional music and values.
Вот бывали такие моменты, когда вы были готовы бросить все, покончить с танцами и заняться чем-нибудь другим?
Every day. Well, we work, dancers, we work with our memories, our thoughts, we work with our mind, and we also work with our bodies. It's a very strong, yet it's also a very vulnerable form of art. It's a vulnerable yet very strong way to connect to the reality of what is happening around you. So it is difficult to not feel the reality and block it. That's why. And so you are you're more targeted. You constantly receive energy and give energy, and you're affected by all that. So sometimes you're drained, and you feel like you're done. You have not. You don't have more energy to go forward, and also it's harder to think about a process. If you will say, I'm always on the road. I mean, I've been traveling for last 22 years. I've been researching, teaching, creating in over 40 different countries in the last 22 years. So part of me, or maybe most of me, is a nomad in reality. And it's very tempting to want to settle down and to want to have a home, physically, mentally, and emotionally. But when you're, when you're a dance artist, and especially like me, traveling around and constantly have to adapt to different cultures, you miss that idea of home. I mean, sometimes literally I dream about my room in Toronto, but at the same time, I also every day thank the universe for giving me the opportunity to be a nomad, because I believe that the nomadic nature is much closer to the reality of life. Nothing is permanent, and you can't stop time, and you can't stop the place from changing. Same as me as a person. My body is getting older, my age is getting higher, so I can't change that. Able to be in that moment and enjoy that moment. But yes, I always think about, it happens that you feel that, oh, this is the last thing I'm going to do. But before it finishes, you come across an inspiration and you think about your next project. So.
Когда вы даете мастер-классы или осуществляете подобные проекты, вы находитесь по ту сторону баррикад, то есть выступаете в роли педагога. Не учитесь, а учите кого-то. Как вам такая роль? И думали ли вы, что когда-нибудь вы станете педагогом?
Well, the way I teach, I dance with the participants. Most of the time, I move with them. My philosophy in teaching is that everybody already has all the knowledge in their body, mind, and emotion, and as a teacher, I'm only facilitating them, inspiring them to reach their potential. So to inspire them, yesterday at the rehearsal, I used this example with the dancers. I said that if you have a little son and you tell your son that when they face a challenge in life, they have to be patient and they have to be very mindful in how they deal with that challenge. When you teach that to your kid, it's not enough to teach them, because the kid will look at you as a parent in life to see if, when you face a challenge in life, are you being patient? Are you being mindful? And so your action is more important for that child to learn than what you say. And based on that, I believe in master classes, if I do my best and dance, then what I do will inspire the participants. So I hardly stay out of it and look inside when I teach. I'm actually experience the moment with them and letting them feel that and be inspired by that. And from that experience, I create something for stage. So the way I create is not to have an idea and to have an idea, a story, and to go in and ask people to help me make that story. I go into a master class or a creative process and with a tiny inspiration that there is potential here. And then I'll try to know everybody in that circle and understand their potential and their needs. And in the process of inspiring them to develop their potential and satisfy their needs, the creative material will come out, and I will use dramaturgy to edit that creative material and present it as a work on stage.
А вы терпеливый человек?
No. I would like to be patient, but I'm not very patient. It depends. You always challenge yourself, but I think I'm not. My mother is very patient. So.
А под звучание какого инструмента вам приятнее всего танцевать?
My breath, my own voice.
Очень здорово. А какая у вас главная мечта, цель всей жизни?
You know, I am 51 now, and most of my life, I have been searching for the answer of what I want and what would make me happy. And so I've been searching for an answer. And only a few years ago, I come to a conclusion that in life, there are no answers. Because answers exist when you believe in a wrong or right or black or white. But when you don't believe in that, answers don't matter anymore because they're all very relative. So when it comes to my dream and hopes or goals in life, there's only one thing that I hope for. I hope to have a good journey. I hope to have a good process. And in that process, I hope to understand myself better and also inspire others to do the same. Because I believe if we each work on ourselves, the world would be a better place because nobody can change anybody else.
Тогда мы желаем вам еще больше интересных путешествий и спасибо за интервью.
Thank you. Thank you.